Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy CV with another reaction video. Let's get right into it, man. This one is George Carlin. You have no rights. This should be interesting because we know how George is, man. George is more than a comedian. George is just amazing to me. And I was thinking the other day, after I did a couple of George Carlin reaction videos, and I'm like, can you imagine the material George would have today? Especially what's going on with the world, how people think, the wars that's happening. Look what happened the other day with Trump. Like, George would have so much material that it would be ridiculous, man. Can you imagine George alive today, 2024? Let's say George was, I don't know, 56 years old today. Oh my God, he would have so much to talk about. I think it would be just overload for him. It would be a special every week. Because today, George would have probably be a podcast, which would probably be crazy. Think about that. Anyways, man, this one is You Have No Rights by George Carlin, man. Let's get this to 50 likes if we can. Appreciate y'all, man. Let's do it.
Customs.
Let's go, George.
Swearing on the Bible. You understand that shit? They tell you to raise your right hand, place your left hand on the Bible. Does this stuff really matter? Which hand? Does God really give a fuck about details like this? Suppose you put your right hand in the Bible, you raise your left hand. Would that count? Or would God say, sorry, wrong hand, try again? And why does one hand have to be raised? What is the magic in this gesture?
Yeah.
This seems like some sort of a primitive voodoo mojo shtick. Why not put your left hand on the Bible, let your right hand hang down by your side? It's more natural. Or put it in your pocket. Remember what your mother used to say? Don't put your hands in your pockets. Does she know something we don't know? Is this hand shit really important? Well, let's get back to the Bible, America's favorite national theatrical prop.
Ooh.
Suppose the Bible they hand you to swear on is upside down, or backward, or both, and you swear to tell the truth on an upside down, backward Bible. Would that count? Suppose the Bible they hand you is an old Bible and half the pages are missing. Suppose all they have is a Chinese Bible in an American court, or a Braille Bible and you're not blind.
Jesus,
Suppose
George.
they hand you an upside down, backward Chinese Braille Bible with half the pages missing.
Oh my God.
At what point does all of this stuff just break down and become just a lot of stupid shit that somebody made up? They fucking made it up, folks. It's make-believe. It's make-believe. Now, all right. Okay.
All right. So I got it. I see what he was doing there. Just saying all this stuff that sounds ridiculous, but at the end of the day, it's like, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
He said Braille Chinese Bible.
Let's leave the Bible aside. We'll get back to the science fiction reading later. The more important question is, what is the big deal about swearing to God in the first place? Why does swearing to God mean you're going to tell the truth? Wouldn't affect me. If they said to me, you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God, I'd say, yeah. I'll tell you about as much truth as the people who wrote that fucking Bible. How do you like that? Huh? Swearing on the Bible doesn't mean anything. It's kid. Swearing to God is kid stuff. Remember when you were a kid? If you told another kid something he didn't quite believe, he'd say, "You swear to God?" I would always say, "Yeah, I swear to God," even if I was lying. Why not? What's going to happen if I lie? Nothing. Nothing happens if you lie. Unless you get caught, and that's a whole different story. Sometimes a kid would think he was being slick with me, and he'd say, "You swear on your mother's grave?" I'd say, "Yeah. Why not? First of all, my mother was alive. She didn't even have a grave. Second of all, even if she was dead, what's she going to do? Rise from the grave and come and haunt me? Come and haunt me? All because I told a lie to an 8-year-old? Get fucking real.
I used to do that. Swear to God. Swear on your mother's grave.
Sometimes I would say, I swear on my mother's tits. Kids are impressed with things like that. I mean, I don't care about my mother's tits either. I don't care if they fell off. Fuck her. Not my problem. They're your tits, Ma. You keep an eye on them. Swearing to God doesn't mean anything. Swearing on the Bible doesn't mean anything. You know why? Because Bible or no Bible, God or no God, if it suits their purposes, people are going to lie in court. The police do it all the time. All the time. Yes, they do. It's part of their job to protect, to serve, and to commit perjury whenever it supports the state's case.
Damn.
Swearing on the Bible is just one more way of controlling people and keeping them in line, and it's one more thing that holds us back as a species. Here's one more item for you, the last in our civics book. Rights. Boy, everyone in this country is always running around yammering about their fucking rights. I have a right, you have no right, we have a right, they don't have a right. Folks, I hate to spoil your fun, but there's no such thing as rights, okay? They're imaginary. We made them up, like the boogeyman. The Three Little Pigs, Pinocchio, Mother Goose, shit like that. Rights are an idea. They're just imaginary. They're a cute idea. Cute. But that's all. Cute and fictional. But if you think you do have rights, let me ask you this. Where do they come from? People say, well, they come from God. They're God-given rights. Oh, fuck, here we go again. Here we go again. The God excuse, the last refuge of a man with no answers and no argument.
Put it on
that
God.
Came from God. Anything we can't describe must have come from God. Personally, folks, I believe that if your rights came from God, He would have given you the right to some food every day, and He would have given you the right to a roof over your head. God would have been looking out for you. God would have been looking out for you. You know that? He wouldn't have been worried about making sure you have a gun so you can get drunk on Sunday night and kill your girlfriend's parents. But let's say it's true. Let's say God gave us these rights. Why would He give us a certain number of rights? The Bill of Rights in this country has 10 stipulations, okay? 10 rights. And apparently God was doing sloppy work that week because we've had to amend the Bill of Rights an additional 17 times. So God forgot a couple of things like slavery. Just fucking slipped his mind.
Yeah.
But let's say
so.
God gave us the original 10. He gave the British 13. The British Bill of Rights has 13 stipulations. The Germans have 29. The Belgians have 25. The Swedish have only 6. And some people in the world have no rights at all. What kind of a fucking goddamn God-given deal is that? No rights at all? Why would God give different people in different countries different numbers of different rights? Boredom? Amusement? Bad arithmetic? Do we find out at long last, after all this time, that God is weak in math skills? Doesn't sound like divine planning to me. Sounds more like human planning.
But that's the key word George just used right there. Divine. That's a word, like, divine is not something you mess with. It's something that's just, you know, it's the most perfect thing. It's, what do you call it? Utopia? Is that what you call it? Like a perfect world? Or, like I said, English is my first language. You guys know that. But, yeah, just that word divine, it's like, you know, it's this perfect thing. It's something you can't compare to anything. Not a human being, not science, nothing. It's on its own. That's the key word, divine. And then he says, "Nah, human did this crap."
Sound like divine planning to me. Sounds more like human planning.
Yeah.
Sounds more like one group trying to control another group.
Facts.
In other words, business as usual in America. Now, if you think you do have rights, one last assignment for you. Next time you're at the computer, get on the internet, go to Wikipedia. When you get to Wikipedia, in the search field for Wikipedia, I want you to type in Japanese Americans 1942, and you'll find out all about your precious fucking rights, okay? All right. You know about it. You know about it.
I'm not sure what year this is. This looks very old, and he's talking about internet and search and all that stuff. Okay, George. Because there's a computer behind him. That looks like an Apple PC. That's not even Windows 98. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a PC behind him.
In 1942, there were 110,000 Japanese American citizens in good standing, law-abiding people who were thrown into internment camps simply because their parents were born in the wrong country. That's all they did wrong. They had no right to a lawyer, no right to a fair trial, no right to a jury of their peers.
It's right there. See what I'm saying? I don't know what year this was.
Right to a jury of their peers, no right to due process of any kind. The only right they had, right this way, into the internment camps. Just when these American citizens needed their rights the most, their government took them away. And rights aren't rights if someone can take them away. They're privileges. That's all we've ever had in this country is a bill.
Wait, say that again.
Rights aren't rights if someone
rights is not rights if someone just
can take them away. They're privileges. That's all we've ever had in this country is a bill of temporary privileges. And if you read the news even badly, you know that every year the list gets shorter and shorter and shorter. You see how sooner or later?
George is different, man. He's different, bro.
Yeah. Sooner or later, the people in this country are going to realize the government does not give a fuck about them. Government doesn't care about you or your children or your rights or your welfare or your safety. It simply doesn't give a fuck about you. It's interested in its own power. That's the only thing, keeping it and expanding it wherever possible. Personally, when it comes to rights, I think one of two things is true. I think either we have unlimited rights or we have no rights at all. Personally, I lean toward unlimited rights. I feel, for instance, I have the right to do anything I please. But if I do something you don't like, I think you have the right to kill me. So where are you going to find a fairer fucking deal than that? So the next time some asshole says to you, I have a right to my opinion, you say, oh yeah? Well, I have a right to my opinion, and my opinion is you have no right to your opinion. Then shoot the fuck and walk away. Thank you.
He said I have rights to my opinion, but you have no rights to it. But isn't that what's happening today? If you look at the two parties right now, Biden, Trump, right? Like they're pinning us against each other. They want you to fight. Like, I don't care who you believe is right or wrong. I think this fight is to keep us arguing, bickering. This is what they want. And like George said, does the government really care about you? I listened to a Tom McDonald song the other day, and he was talking about the same thing. This is what they want, man. At the end of the day, does the machine really give a damn about you? You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, this might be weird to some of you guys, but like console war. Console war means Xbox, PlayStation. Those community are so toxic, and you have no idea if you're not in those community. Like, these people will dox each other, right? If I'm a PlayStation fan, I'm going to dox you guys because you're an Xbox fan address, right? Because of a plastic. Like, they hold on to these two plastic. Like, you have to be in the community to understand how crazy it is. But something that small, Xbox, PlayStation, they go at it every day, and they're fighting for a plastic that doesn't give a damn about them. They're fighting for a plastic that they're making money off of you, and yet they still just fight every day. Oh, PlayStation got better games, Xbox got better games, blah, 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 blah. Your mom, your sister, your kid. And like, it's toxic community, both sides. It's crazy. And then when you think about it on a larger scale, we're talking about presidents, we're talking about laws and stuff like that. Yeah, this is what they want, man. They want us to go back and forth, and at the end of the day, does the machine really care? Listen, man, George, if he was here today, the material that this man would have, he just wouldn't know what to do. Like I said, George would have to have a podcast. It'll be the greatest podcast ever, because I could just sit here and just listen to George all day. If you can give me George an hour twice a week, oh my God, the material is there. The things he could talk about, it's crazy. There's so much material for George today. I mean, obviously, George is doing this back in the day. I'm talking about today. George was still tapping in what's happening today before it started happening. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, George is different, man. Rest in peace, Mr. George Carlin, man. I got another video of George coming after this, man, so we'll get to it. But if there's more, put in the comment section below. Keep your head up. Love you guys, man. Till next time. Peace.